playing really well right now. I mean, we keep talking about his past where he's a cheesy guy, but forget about it. He's not cheesy right now. He's rock solid. He's playing amazing.
You know, to go off what you're saying, really, to be a successful StarCraft player, there is a balance between the standard games and the cheesy games. And a lot of times when we see somebody first starting out, it's usually more one than the other. It's okay, he's always macroing, it's predictable, but he's so good at doing it, it doesn't matter. Other times it's just, okay, this guy, we don't know what he's gonna do, but this game could end so quick. If this guy gets caught off guard, or catches his opponent off guard rather, he's gonna fall apart. So this is definitely, you know, a series where we're gonna see how good in shape is he against a player like Hyun who's so accomplished. Anyways, our game is ready to go, so let's go ahead and throw it off to Artosis and Todd to start this best of 3.
All right, up in the top right of Catalina is none other than the defending champion of Dreamhack Valencia, RO8 Hyun. And his opponent in the bottom right of our map, a Dreamhack champion. Todd and I both think he's going to take this. It is My Insanity Stardust.
You know, Stardust is one of these Protosses that actually a lot of people and players consider like more as an alien than an actual Protoss, just because he has like all these weird builds that only him can make work. I mean, this guy is the one that, when he's playing live, back at a DreamHack, I think it was Bucharest, he was just going for like 6, 7 gates and somehow was making it work in a situation where nobody else would have been able to make it work. And we see here in the first game, actually Hyun does something that's for some time he had been doing a lot against Protosses, that's trying to catch them off guard when they go for something like a greedy Nexus first. And in this case, he's gonna catch Stardust off guard, and this could do a lot of damage, possibly game-ending damage here. It's really gonna come down to how the Stardust manage to defend against this. But the thing is, look, he's coming in the wrong direction. I am afraid already here for Stardust in this game.
This is a really good situation for Hyun to go for a 10 pool. He's got a lot of Zerglings out, and this is like basically the most greedy Protoss opener, which is a Nexus first into a gateway behind your minerals. But we'll have to see what the micro comes down to, and the decision-making, of course, of Hyun.
Yeah, man, those links. He's gonna need to pull probes to stack them on the minerals for as long as possible. Chrono Boost out a Zealot. As you can see, he's on 20 energy right now on his Nexus. As he sees this, he needs to start a Zealot as soon as possible. Maybe he can solo gas. Yeah, he's gonna do that. Ooh, he's taking some damage.
All right, as long as he doesn't lose too many probes here, we do see some good micro.
And didn't really have to start a core. I guess he's not mining gas yet, but maybe he gets like 2 Zealots and then a Stalker.
Yeah, I think so. He has to be able to get a range now as quickly as possible. He's never going to kill off all of these with just his micro. Really good micro, but he has lost some probes so far.
3 in total so far, and the second Nexus is being targeted. Probes are going to be pulled. I don't think that's enough probes. The Zealots being targeted down now.
Oh man, and this game may already be over. I mean, Stardust has lost a lot. He's barely mining, still a lot of Zerglings over here, and Hyun is making more and more.
You know, Hyun behind this, he was droning up for some time, but now he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna make some more links. He makes 4 more and then goes back into drones. He knows that this can still do some more damage. He knows that Stardust doesn't have the gas to get a Stalker right now, so all he can do is make another Zealot.
Well, those Zealots, he's microing them pretty well, trying to kill off as much as he can, but losing so much mining time, losing so many probes so far as well.
He's still ahead on walkers, 20 to 15, but a lot of mining time has been prevented. I'm pretty sure that those Zerglings can still keep on trading maybe against probes, but there's 2 Zealots now. Hyun has to be very careful. The natural for Stardust was evacuated except for 1 single probe, and he has to get a 3rd Zealot. He feels like he has to.
Yeah, well, you know, he just has the minerals mostly. He does have some gas now, so it looks like he's going to go for a mothership core.
Hyun is really committing even more. 14 more links on the way.
Wasn't expecting that.
He's going to try to kill those Zealots and then finish the game right there and then with slow links.
I guess
Or maybe the Nexus. He wants to get the Nexus at least. That's a win there.
Well, he definitely will get the Nexus. We don't see a mothership core being made, but we do have a Stalker on the way, and that's really going to help out a lot. But look at this. More probes going on. I think Stardust is caught really off guard with these late links coming in right now.
Yeah, Stardust has to pull back. He's going to get the mothership core. This is a great initiative here. This is going to start shooting down links very quickly. If that second Nexus lives on, even if Stardust is behind on walkers, he can catch up with the chrono boost that he has accumulated there. So it's really important that it goes down here for Hyun.
Yeah, that is very true. And he does have a lot more links coming in. Of course, that Mothership Core is there, but Mothership Core and 3 Zealots.
Does he have to pull back? I think he has to commit in any case. He has this many links.
Yeah, he has to surround. This was actually very sloppy there by Stardust to let those get surrounded so quickly. He does still have this Stalker, and he is going to end up killing off these Lings.
Does it
and
matter,
he keeps
though?
the Nexus.
He's held. Stardust has held. This, can he maybe even get the Overlord here?
Oh man,
if he gets on it very soon.
huge.
Oh my god, this is actually gonna backfire somehow. Hyun is very low on economy, 22 drones to 22 probes. That Overlord is escaping. Stardust not going to commit to it. He makes sure he kills the Lynx before.
And you know what? As you said, he has a ton of chrono boost. He can really pump out his probes again so quickly. In fact, he could go right up to a Warp Gate Rush, possibly.
Yeah, like 4 gates, a Roti Rush, as we call it.
The Roti Rush.
Oh, he gets a Forge. So I guess he doesn't want to do that. He wants to get the +1.
You know, he might be playing a little bit scared here, getting that Forge. I'm actually a little bit surprised on that. Do you think he's just going to go into like a +1 7 gate?
Yes, Stardust. Well, +1 and at least 4 gates total. Maybe 7, maybe 8. With Stardust, you never know.
Well, with how slow the +1 attack is, I feel like he can refill his probes and go up to 7 gates with that +1 if that's... You know, I would say that he's going to get aggressive.
Yes, with the situation he's in, you're perfectly right. I think he could go into a 7 gate, an economic 7 gate, if you will, where he keeps on making probes at the same time and takes a 3rd base behind it if he wants to.
A really great choice. Let's revisit that rush for a moment, because it felt for a while there like Hyun was getting far ahead. What did he mess up? What did he do wrong with his Zerglings?
I think he could have targeted a natural instead of really trying to get into the main as much as he did. If Hyun really went for the second Nexus, he could have sniped it, which means he would have lost a lot of Lings, and then there would have been Zealots alive against no Lings on the map. But as long as he kills it and he can drone behind and make sure that he can get enough units to basically hold the counter-attack, which would be without Warp Gate and with just a few units, he would have been ahead. He misprioritized during this attack.
Yeah,
if that's even a word.
This is something that definitely does happen from time to time with people that are Zergling rushing, where they don't target the right thing. The thing is, it's sometimes very hard to tell. Can I kill him here, or do I need to back up and play conservatively with these Zerglings?
Hyun is taking 2 layer. This is going to be spotted. I really like that move here by Stardust. Oh, actually, he needs to be careful with his Mothership Core. I really like the move of scouting the main, because he needs to know how quick the lair is and what he might have to face, and also because he's not going to have too many hallucinations to work with because of the opener he had to go for.
Well, right now,
this is going to be saved.
Oh man, these Zerglings really trying to cancel this, and he is actually going to get the cancel, it looks like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big deal here.
Definitely very nice of him to get that cancel down, but we do have +1 attack about to finish. The Twilight about to finish as well. Looks like we're going to see +2 Blink.
Yeah, this is going to line up very well. A single Evolution Chamber here for Hyun, and a Robo for Stardust, who's still going to remake that 3rd base. Obviously, I don't think I've ever seen anybody in position be like, all right, you're not going to sell my Nexus, I'll just drop down 7 gates. And let's see if you want me to not take a 3rd base.
Well, you know, I like how Stardust is playing it too, to be honest, but Hyun is going ahead and getting just about all the upgrades that he needs in the early game. Zergling speed, Roach speed, even Burrow, and +1 missile attacks. That's going to allow him to have a pretty good, fast, mobile army, and his creep spread isn't so bad considering how he started this game.
How do you like the Burrow here?
I do like the Burrow quite a bit. The thing is, he just scouted and saw that there's a Robo, so it might not be as useful.
Yeah.
But I feel like Burrow overall is a good upgrade. If you use it in the right location, like if the Observer is just out of position even, you can save a few units.
We've seen it a lot. Yeah. Protosses forgetting to bring Observers in their army, and then Burrow really helping with those fights.
That's right. We'll see if that does come up.
The map vision by Hyun is beautiful, by the way. He's got units everywhere, and that's mostly Lynx, a few Overlords here and there. He can see basically half of the map right now.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job just kind of keeping the Protoss in a certain area where if anything comes out, he can go ahead and try to stop it.
A single Evolution Chamber upgrading, Burrow movements, those Hyun commits to like a massive attack and then does like a muta transition behind it.
Well,
he's only making units right now.
It is looking like it. These Roaches going to get in there. He does force field some of them off, some nice force fields to be able to kill those, but that means the Roaches inside are able to do whatever they like. Unfortunately, not really targeting probes that much.
Yeah, a few Roaches getting into the natural here are going to be able to snipe some of these probes. They snipe them very quickly, remember. But it looks like Stardust is going to be able to hold, and from there, Oh, actually, he's taking a lot of damage here from these Links and Roaches.
Yeah, that's a very nice flank coming up. But this is a strong wall-in of gateways from Stardust.
What a sick wall.
Yeah, he's going to be able to hold there because of that Nexus Cannon Mothership Core. And it looks like he's pretty much stabilized, but I like that attack.
There is no transition plan here for Hyun. He's committing everything he has to this. And oh, the army of Stardust is going to be split in 2 parts. He's going to force field those Links in here, possibly. Ooh, I'm surprised he didn't. That was a juicy pack of Links he could have killed for free here. Photon overcharge is still available. You really got to appreciate the patience of Stardust here.
Yeah.
He's not using that too early. He's force fielding only when he has to. Never misses a force field.
Well, that's exactly what he needs to do right here. This is super aggressive. Even a Spire coming up afterwards, kind of an old school style here, doing Roach wing attacks, and eventually a switch into Muta's upcoming. But he's got to continue the damage.
Dark Shrine going down in a great position here, where it's not going to be spotted by Hyun. And with the War Prism as well, Stardust is thinking ahead. He's going to send that across the map. He's even going to dodge those Links. Not intentionally, but he's going to go around the vision. Oh man, the time warp. There is burrow movement, remember, by the way.
Yeah, that is true. He's not really using it right now, surprisingly. This could be a good situation. The force field's doing a fantastic job. A blink over to the side here from Stardust, trying to pick off as many Roaches as possible, and he's doing a great job defending.
Yeah, the War Prism still idle out on the map. Stardust gonna have to get on that. If he wants to do damage with those DTs, I think the best way he could use them is to send 1 or 2 in each middle line, start slicing down drones. And Stardust right now, because he's been force fielding continuously and fighting all the time, he has no idea there is a Spire, but all he has seen is Roaches and Zerglings. So I think he might be able to kind of guess what could be coming. And man, this swap in, I don't think he should be able to get it canceled, but...
Well, the Roaches are coming, so I think he'll be able to kill that off. Yeah, I'll probably pick that off and drop it off elsewhere. But you know what? I like the choice overall to grab a Warp Prism and go DT Tech as well, because with this type of style from Hyun, you definitely don't have Spores at home. You probably only have like 1 Overseer with your army, and if that gets picked off, the DTs can even help defensively.
Oh, the Spire is going to be spotted in the main. And Stardust really needs to start whopping in some DTs. Remember, Hyun has no idea. So even though he has a single Overseer, that's the only one he's got. And actually, he's going to snipe the War Prism. So I don't like that Stardust went for this as early as he did. And this is going to be taken down here.
Yeah, it looks like not really getting the damage in that he wanted here. And now with those Mutas out, and he's upgrading drop Ventral Sacks here. What do you think about that, Todd?
You know, because of the positions, if he was to do a big drop in the main and attack the third with the Mutas or the natural, this could do a lot of damage and really catch Stardust off guard. And I think he's maybe hoping that Stardust taking too early to Colossus, in which case he wouldn't have enough units to really defend against this. Like, burrow movement really nullifies very well the force fields, but not that much, whereas drops completely nullifies it.
Yeah.
Like, if you have like 30 Roaches landed in your main base, like how do you defend? You have to bring everything there.
Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of your infrastructure as well, no doubt about it. Maybe some buildings that are upgrading as well.
Oh, you forgot Pneumatized Carapace for the longest time, though.
Look at this DT, just going to work right now, killing off just so many drones.
20 drones have been killed so far in this game by Stardust. 23 probes have been killed by Hyun.
Yeah, most of those were in the early game, though.
Man, these guys really trading blow for blow here in this match.
Yeah. It is definitely a very close game at the moment. 3 Stargates going up against this growing flock of Mutas.
How big is it? 13 Mutas right now. We got... actually, he's cutting. He's not making any more than 13, I guess. And he wants to wait, maybe, and decide later on if he gets Corruptors or transitions into something else. But remember, Hyun has no... Hydralis Den, he has nothing else. No Infestation Pits. All he can make right now is Roaches or Mutas. So yeah, he starts some more Mutas. Oh man, that main is ready. 4 cannons. 4 in-control cannons in the main.
4 in-control cannons. Never heard that one. You know, kind of interesting, he did cancel the drop upgrade, by the way. So we won't be seeing any drops this game. Too bad. I really do like to see when Zergs mix in drops against Protoss. But instead he's decided he's going to fight it a little bit more straight up.
That War Prism just flew right above one of the Zerglings. I think right now Hyun doesn't care. He wants to be aggressive. He's going to get in there. There was nothing to block.
No force fields to be seen anywhere, but a lot of them actually stuck. He's going after that Nexus with some of the Zerglings. The Roaches having to turn around and fight whatever they can, but a DT in there really helping out.
Yeah, there is Overseer though. The Nexus is going to go down. The Phoenixes start to get in onto the action. Blink forward here by Stardust. He needs to hold that comfortably to maybe try and counterattack with his Phoenixes.
And the Muta's trying to go to work on these Stalkers. Lots of blinks coming down, dodging shots, and the Mutas, most of them will get away, it looks like, but still, he lost the rest of his army, taking out the Nexus.
You know what? Stardust has transferred a lot of those probes immediately. He didn't lose that many. He's still on 63 probes against 66 drones, so if from there he still manages to get a lot of Phoenixes out, it's going to be hard for Hyun to deal with this. Hyun needs Corruptors to deal with these Phoenixes. He's only making Mutas right now.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting that he's only making Mutas. Maybe he thinks he hurt the economy enough that we can't really have enough Phoenixes and ground units to fight back, but that's not the case. Stardust still doing a good job with his units and has a lot of Phoenixes with even more on the way.
This is so smart to get charged because he's spending all of his gas into Phoenixes, so if he gets enough charge loads on the ground to really support and destroy the ground army by his opponent, with this, I think Stardust is going to do great, but right now I'm not sure he has enough Phoenixes to fight just yet against this many Mutas.
Yeah, not quite. He's got 9 against 29, and you got to remember, he never got a fleet beacon. He doesn't have Phoenix range, so it's extremely hard to actually kite the Mutas. The Mutas can kill Phoenixes.
I think he has to keep it. I think it's the correct choice because the main is mined out and he's not even... I mean, he's remaking his natural that he lost right now. Hyun could be in trouble here. He's getting pushed. He has no Corruptors. He's still committing even more to Mutas.
And in the meantime, we have a blink up. He's going after this base right now after his Zealots did get cleaned up at the other.
Some links are going to come in support here, but there is a bit of a ground army by Stardust, but I don't know that he's quite that strong just yet. They could engage. I think ideally Hyun would like to go into Infestors. You see he's getting Pathogen Glance. If he reaches that against this many Stalkers and Phoenixes, it will really help in winning the fights. But Stardust army is getting stronger by the second too. The more units he gets, he's 3-1 on upgrades on the Stalkers, and he's getting level 2 ground armor too.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, his upgrades are looking fantastic. He still has his 3 bases. He has the right types of units. Still no Phoenix range, but as long as he keeps them with these Stalkers, they're going to do great.
Oh wow, he's actually going to trade well, even if those Mutas are able to attack those Phoenixes now. Hyun forced to turn around and fight all the time. Those Zerglings maybe preparing for an attack here. There is not many force fields available. If this army doesn't have Guardian Shield, there isn't actually that many Stalkers. Stardust is focusing on making mostly Phoenixes.
That's right, and we actually have Infestors on the way. A fungal growth or two going down on these Stalkers as well as these Phoenixes will allow this Zergling Mutalist composition to actually get in there and deal a ton of damage. So that's something he really has to look out for. He doesn't have any splash damage right now to help out against that.
Those will have to be some very good 3 points, though. They're going to have to catch a lot of those units.
Yeah. Gets him in just the right spot, but you know what? This is Hyun. He's the type of player that can do that.
Templar Archives going down as well as Air Weapons level 1. Both players, man, they've played a beautiful game already. Really transitioning very well every time they have to. That poor DT here, he's going to get sniped by the Mutas. And the Phoenixes, man, he's getting a little bit too cheeky. I think Stardust, does he know? He saw the Infestation Pit, but I don't think he realized that there is actually already Infestors out on the map.
Yeah, it's hard to say when you see Infestation Pit sometimes. Is it Infestors? Is it just a hive? Could it even be a Swarm Host switch?
Big kill on here. I think he got the Fleet Beacon, right? He sniped that in the main.
Well,
so that means the Phoenixes.
No Fleet Beacon right now.
Oh, wow. Oh my god.
I love moves like that. Trying to catch him. Oh, the Stalkers do blink up. A lot of Zerglings come in. Some Force Fields go down, but the Zerglings surrounding absolutely everything, pushing forward. Some Roaches here to help out as well. Good fungal growths going down, but are there enough units here for Hyun? It looks like no, there is not.
Wow, and Stardust is going to win the fight here. He killed all of the Mutas, the Infestors, the Roaches, and Zerglings. He's going to have a big army alive right after this. 79 army supply now for Stardust, 59 for Hyun, who's going to get counterattack. If there's one guy who doesn't hesitate in this situation, it's Stardust.
Yeah, he's got to put the damage on now before Hyun can replace that army. Moving forward right now, he's done a great job picking apart everything. Some Lings on the way, Infestors as well, but is that going to be enough? I really don't think so.
I don't know, Dan. He's in a great position now with those Stalkers. Units dying left and right for Hyun. He's falling in supply. I think Stardust has done it.
It does look that way. Stardust, after holding the early Zergling aggression, holding the Mutalist switch, and doing a counterattack, has won the first game. GG. Some great play by Stardust. He was very patient this entire game. His defense was fantastic. And Hyun was just unable to finish him despite some amazing aggression.
27 minutes game, not a single dull moment.
Yeah,
constant action.
that's for sure. From minute 3, we had nothing but action.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
true, though, with the opener.
Yeah.
Well, I guess a 27 minutes game without that opener is like very different.
Yes, indeed.
Like they would be on Kairos and like be so high eco already, but yeah, really both players trying to outdo each other from the start, with Hyun going for the first blood and the first move, and in the end, not doing nearly enough damage, but you know, he was still in it. He was taking a third base, getting a lot of drones, making a lot of roaches. He tried to make something happen with his roaches. He kind of did, but again, not enough. And then the Muda comes in. But again, Stardust is ready with the triple Stargate, perfect reaction. And Hyun maybe a little bit too stubborn, you know? Some Corruptors could have done well in this situation, but I guess since Stardust already was on Blink Stalkers +2 and then was making +3, I guess maybe he was afraid of having 2 little Mudas and Corruptors, in which case, like if you have like 30 Stalkers against 10 Mudas and 10 Corruptors, you just like laugh in the face of the Zerg player.
You know, I do like what you said when you said stubborn, because I think that is a big time word to actually describe Hyun in his style. He is a very stubborn Zerg, and you know, sometimes that really pays off for him, but this is how he loses games. Sometimes he just stays on the same units for too long. We see that a lot with his Roach Hydra type compositions, where he'll stay until late game and then suddenly the Max Protoss kills you. Or he'll just stay on Mutas. Well, you know, I got +2 Mutalisk attack. I should be able to kill everything. And then eventually the Phoenixes come out on top. He is a stubborn player, and sometimes to his detriment.
It's funny to think how like players, they play on like a feeling-based game. You know, for example, Saxtree, he knew when he had to attack against Starbuck, even though he didn't know exactly what he was up against. It was the same thing here against Hyun for Stardust. Like he didn't have a perfect and complete information, but he did with what he had, and he kind of guessed what Hyun might be going into. So basically, the DTs were always going to be good, the Warp Prism as well, even just to take some information here and there, which is what he did. Yeah. And he always had attack when he had to, stayed back at home and defended when he had to, and in the end, he was just that solid that even though he saw the Spire as it finished, or like very late, it didn't even matter in the end.
Yeah, you know, oftentimes it does too. That's one of the scariest things that can happen. Cheese is fun and exciting. Do you agree, Todd?
It's also delicious.
At least from France, I guess. All right, so our next map going to be Merry-Go-Round. This countdown has begun. Merry-Go-Round, I feel like this is a map that Stardust definitely could go for the aggressive side on. A 2-base attack, maybe.
Yeah, you know, this is a map where, again, since it's hard to take a third base, we could be seeing like a robo in a wall being made, some Immortals, and maybe a War Prism with lots of Zealots, something like that. Anything's possible out of Stardust. 7 gates or 8 gates is probably the guy who is executed the best.
He's very good at it.
Even ahead of Huck. I'm sorry, Huck. You got the top 3 control, but top 1 is Stardust in this case for the 7 or 8 gates.
Well, we'll see what he's going for. We are in the game, so let's go ahead and introduce these players in the top left. Losing that first game, he's got to win here or he's going home. It's the defending champion, RO8 Hyun. And his opponent in the bottom center of our map. Make some noise for My Insanity Stardust.
My Insanity, I would say one of the best teams in Europe, so to speak. You know, there's a lot of Korean players on the team. Every time they recruit one, their players end up being like the biggest of deals in the European leagues, in the European tournaments, or even across the world. Jack G being in there. Saxtree, Balloon, all of these guys always doing
fantastic
very well.
players. Like, look at it. Their top Korean lineup now is a really great Zerg, a really great Terran, a really great Protoss, and a really great random. The only great random.
They got the only guy, the Joker, the ace.
Yes.
It looks like Stardust wanted to open the exact same as in the previous game, and Hyun went for a drone scout, which usually you go for if you roid or some kind of cannon rush, or you want to hatch block. And in this case, I don't think he's going to have time to hatch block.
No.
But maybe, no, those probes are going to be there on time.
Yeah, he's just going to try to harass us a bit. Do you think he's going to go double hatch, though, against this? Yeah. I feel like that's really the best counter against a Gateway Expand.
You either go for the complete aggression or complete grids slash defense, which in this case would be the double hatch. Maybe even a gas before pull, you know? Can make it work.
Yeah, you can be just so greedy against a build like this. He's just double checking. saying, okay, do you have a gateway here? And I would be quite surprised if he went for a pool at this point.
The thing is, if you go for this kind of greedy build as Protoss, and you open with a quick nexus into gateway, Immortal Push or any kind of big gateway attack with like 7 or 8 gate is that much stronger because it comes up faster, you have more economy than if you played more conservatively. So the grid basically transforms into a nice mid-game lead where you are where you wouldn't be otherwise if you played more standard. So Stardust, he probably knows that. I'm sure he does know it. And does he choose to go into something like a 7 gate here?
Well, you know, it's pretty hard to say. If you go into that 7 gate, will you actually catch Hyun? Because he's going to assume that this is probably going to be a double hatch before pool. The economy is going to get up way quicker, which means Hyun can get into his defensive units a lot quicker. I don't know if I really like him going into a 7 gate here, to be honest. I feel like I would rather see a more technical attack out of him rather than a brute force one.
Well, what's the technical attack on 2
something more technical, like a lot of sentries and immortals, something with a warp prism in it.
A good old immortal push.
Yeah,
after 2 immortals.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Or
the Soul Train.
The Soul Train is a good build if you can get it out quick enough.
Especially if you look at this map, like, you know, the third base is like so kind of like out of position. If you attack from the right angle and you can force field very, or even if you go down the ramp of the natural of the Zerg player as Protoss, you have a lot of force fielding capability. You know, you can maybe move up the ramp, force field behind you, so that the units from the third base cannot get there. So lots of possibilities, and we see a sentry being made first here by Stardust. So when I see a sentry like this here, I'm either thinking quick third, or some kind of immortal push or attack. So you might be right.
Yeah, totally. And the thing is, you can take a third on this map. You know, we talk a lot about how it is a good map for 2 base attacks because the third is hard to take, but it's not impossible to take. You definitely can do it. And for instance, if he took a third, it would probably be the one to the right of his natural. And it wouldn't be too hard to hold.
I think it would be pretty hard. Like if Hyun was to do the same thing as he did in previous game, playing against a player like Hyun is like playing against somebody you've never played before that's like better than every other Zerg you play on ladder every day. So it's like very, very hard to adjust. But again, if there is anybody who can do it, it's Stardust. And actually those links here, doing a lot more than they were supposed to. I'm surprised Stardust didn't force field the ramp when they were headed for it.
Yeah, it seems like his sentry fell a little bit too far behind. He couldn't quite do it, but you know what? He will end up holding this, but he lost a probe, he used a force field, lost some mining time. Pretty effective scout as well for Hyun.
Yeah, he's droning up very hard behind this, whereas Stardust is throwing this thing out exclusively probes. He's going to block the link. Cute little move here, and quick third nexus is going to be made at 7 minutes here. Oh man, these guys. I guess Stardust saw that there was no gas early on, so he knows that there cannot be speed here just yet. So taking the third base this fast against slow links, what are you afraid of? Nothing, really.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Hyun actually ends up doing. I feel like he's just going to grab Roach speed and go for it, to be honest. It's Hyun first off. His layer is pretty reasonably fast. He's getting his Zergling speed, and that Roach Warren is on the way.
Stardust needs to wall off his third nexus with some pylons, gateways, and maybe a single cannon. No robo was made just yet. I fully expect the Twilight Council to start fairly soon as well. There it is. So he can start the +2 on time as this finishes. And Hyun, seeing that third base now, he has a choice to make. Does he go full greedy? Actually, he's already been quite greedy. Already up to 62 drones against 46 probes. Man, we're only at the 8th minute. Can you believe that? Some players, they don't even reach this in like 15 minutes.
It is true, but you know what? Seeing such a quick third base, you know that you're safe to do something like this. So he's just getting his economy completely off the hook. Gonna get some upgrades going as well, getting his Roach speed. Whereas Stardust, well, it just looks very normal from him. I think we're gonna see +2 and blank, maybe a quick warp prism to try to get a little bit of harassment done, because you can't just sit there all game.
Yeah. I wonder what Hyun's plan is here. Does he go into Roach Hydra? Does he take to Quick Hive? Does he go into Swarmhost? It's a very real possibility on this map, but again, Hyun is not one of those Zergs that's been known to play a whole lot of Swarmhost.
What do you think about this? We have one evolution chamber, and it's actually getting carapace instead of any attacks.
This is weird.
That is weird. What does this mean, Todd?
You know, if he had droned up a little bit less, I would have said maybe some kind of Roachling all-in, but now he's getting the Hydra then. Oh, he cancels. He just canceled the Hydra. I think because maybe Hallucination just... Yeah, Hallucination saw it, maybe. So he canceled that and then made the Spire.
You're right.
So there is another hallucination on the way, and he has no way to prevent that from actually... That's how good Stardust is. He saw the building, and he goes right there to confirm it. He's like seeing oh, actually, no. He's stopping with the hallucination.
Uh-oh, he needs to double check that. If he doesn't know that a Spire is on the way, he could be in a lot of trouble here. You have to be ready for mutas. You have to like pre-counter them when they're coming.
The thing is, Blink and +2 is fairly good against everything, but you need to know as early as possible exactly what you're up against, because against mutas, you need to be in position in the main with the Stalkers, because that's usually where the mutas are going to fly. And this might be, again, one of those cases, or one of those situations where Stardust realized very late what he's up against, which before hasn't really stopped him in the previous game. He sees the fourth base with the double gas, though, so I think right now he should really be focusing. Okay, he's queued right on top of the Spire.
Oh, that's really good for him. As long as he takes a little look, it's pretty easy to see. Starting to move out right now with his forces. Uh-oh, this is a great surround.
He needs to recall, but he's going to lose a lot. Wow, this is... You never see that from Stardust, usually. Missing those force fields like this. And man, this might be game-ending. The game-ending move here, to use your terms from before. Hyun, he's feeling that confidence. The recall.
Oh my god. That caught him really off guard there, but you know what? He does get that force field down at least. Still some Lings going into that main base. Could be a problem there. He holds off everything else, though, at the moment.
RO8 was warped in very late in the main here. And Hyun's going for more. He knows that he has a lot of forces and links, and a lot of force fields was forced for nothing. This is why you don't take a third base on this map, or this is why it's very hard.
Indeed it is, but you know what? He's still trying to hold on. We do have Mulus on the way. If he can stabilize without losing too many units, of course he does have +2 about to finish. He does have Blink. He might be able to hold him off for a bit and get some Phoenixes out.
The thing is, not knowing about the mutas, he scouted the Spire, but I'm not sure that he actually ever looked in the main. Like the hallucination flew above Dark Shrine on the third base here for Stardust. Wow. The thing is he going to be able to hold on against the mutas plus the roaches running everywhere? I think he might know. He might have looked, because now he's getting some cannon in the third base.
Well, if he's getting cannons, a Dark Shrine, and +4 gates with no Stargate tech, do you think he's just going to go for a base trade?
I don't think so. I don't think you ever win a base trade here in this situation. His Stalker count is not high enough too. He has to play defensively. He's getting the Warp Prism. He cancels the gates.
So he didn't really know, actually, about these mutas then, if he was planning on canceling those gates. I think we're going to see some Stargates come up then.
You think so? I don't think he has the gas.
If he doesn't, it could be tough.
The thing is, he's going for Dark Shrine, so he's going to need a lot of gas for those DTs to do something. Because you need to make at least 3 or 4, I would say.
If the DTs do nothing, I feel like that's just a win for Hyun.
Yeah. Right now, Stardust is waiting for the Dark Shrine to finish, to finally warp in some DTs, send them inside of those mineral lights. Hey, remember Hyun, for some reason? Oh, the Mothership Core just died.
Yeah, at full energy as well. Right now, a lot of Stalkers in the main base, and it looks like Hyun gonna go over, try to kill this Nexus. Can't quite do it, but turns around and chases these Stalkers back.
He was trying to bait those units out of position, and he's gonna be able to bring them out of position, but there is a few force fields really helping the fight here for Stardust. He's in an auto, he's against a maxed out Zerg.
Oh, it looks like Hyun gonna start to break through this army. Is Hyun gonna be able to kill off Stardust? He's down to just Stalkers, and that is not a good place to be in. In fact, he is making an Immortal right now. When you're making an Immortal against someone who's still making mutas, you know you're in a bad spot.
The Dark Shrine position actually pretty funny. Mothership Core being remade now. +3 is on the way here for Stardust, who's desperately trying to hold on. He's actually very short on gas. He's got +3 on the way. But if he loses all of his Stalkers, it's not going to matter. 16 mutas to 7 Stalkers. I think Hyun has done it here.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. Breaking through. GG! And Hyun takes game number 2, tying up the series 1-1.
Very cool play here out of our Zerg player on merry-go-round. He hits a good timing when he had to, and then from there, it was just very difficult for Stardust to recover. And you know, that third base of Stardust, taking it on the right-hand side is easier to defend at first, but later on in the game, when you have to face as many units as you have to face and defend against, it just becomes that much more difficult.
Yeah,
it's like you have to run. And you know, Hyun abused that very well, by the way. He attacked the third, he's like, he's gonna come and defend. As soon as Stardust steps outside of his wall, he jumps on him with everything and flanks him.
Yeah, he just covered his units with everything. You know, I liked what you said a little bit earlier on too. When Stardust was moving across the map, I felt like that was a good time to move out and try to put on some pressure because the Spire was finishing up. But he suddenly got surrounded.
Yeah.
Had to use a lot of force fields. And, you know, it was a tough situation for him to have to warp back home and have no energy left.
Yeah, well said. Stardust, he had a very convincing first game. In the second game, it was looking okay at first, but then again, that move out, really not something you can allow to happen against a Zerg of the caliber of Hyun.
Yeah.
And you know, like, it's funny because I'm sure that we had the same thoughts, because, like, you know, like, we both play Protoss, and at that moment when he faded the force field, I was like, when you play against Hyun, you know what's next. You know, like, swarms of roaches are going to come in, and you're going to have the hardest time ever holding.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he had the same thought as me, and he was like, oh my God, like, what did I just do? What just happened to me? I need a Dark Shrine. I need something in this game.
Well, you know, he took the risk, and it didn't end up paying off, but that is a pretty hard map. And now we're going to go into a map that we've talked about a lot during this tournament, Overgrowth. It's a map that definitely has pluses for both sides. I think it's a great decider for these two.
Yeah, this is a map that has been played a lot, that is not vetoed often in PvZ, and I guess that's fairly even. Like, I've seen Zergs win nearly as much as Protoss. Well, maybe not that as much as Protoss, because Protoss have been winning a lot in tournaments. But Hyun definitely a very good player on this map. I think I casted him not too long ago on this map, actually, in PvZ. Can't remember exactly who it was again. Maybe Alicia in WCS America or something.
Yeah, it may have been.
He's had some good games on it, and usually he plays it fairly standard, you know, with the quick third base and like lots of units, which on this map is the best way to play it. But against somebody like Stardust, Stardust opened twice with a quick Nexus first. Is it time for Hyun to gamble? He's the one who's been on the wrong end of gambles before. Remember that proxy against Naniwa?
Oh, yes,
in the final game of a best of 5, I think it was in New York.
That was a crazy, crazy game right there.
Maybe it's his time to try and roll the dice a little bit.
Maybe. Do you think Hyun should, because he did go for the 10 pool against it and actually ended up losing that game, should he go for something like a fast speedling?
I don't think that against Stardust it will be good, especially if he identifies it, but it's a good point that you raised, because Stardust has not been very active with his scouting. He's been gambling a lot. He's been going for 15 Nexus with 15 gates with a late scout.
Well, I got to tell you something, Todd. We were actually looking at it before this series started. Hyun has played maybe the most games out of anyone in StarCraft 2 professionally. Like,
yeah, it's insane.
It's like he's played, I think, over 1,000 games. So,
matches, not even maps, matches.
Oh God, it's crazy. It's a huge number, but I mean, this means that Stardust maybe doesn't need to scout as much. He knows the range of Hyun. I mean, you at home, us here, the people in the audience, if you watch a lot of StarCraft 2, you have seen Hyun play a lot of games. So maybe Stardust kind of has a good feel for what Hyun's up to.
Well, in the previous game, he was kind of supposed to have a good feel too, but in the end, that move out just wasn't enough. And, you know, I understand him too for moving out at that time. I would have moved out at that time too, but the thing is the force fields, the reflex wasn't that good. He used force fields for nothing, and then he recalled after losing some. That was a horrible scenario.
Yeah, it's as bad as you can really get in the matchup. So we'll be getting into this game now. In the top right of Overgrowth, the final game of this series. Make some noise for Roka Hyun. And of course, his opponent. I want to hear how much you love him. It's My Insanity Stardust.
Man, this is so crazy to me that these two players meet in the quarterfinals. They rank 2 and 3 in WCS points.
It's wild.
After so many tournaments, if Hyun wins here and wins this tournament and MC loses his next match, Hyun actually overtakes MC for the rank 1.
That's
if
crazy.
Stardust beats Hyun and wins the tournament and again MC loses, I think he might get ahead of Hyun, maybe not ahead of MC. So like, we could be seeing movement, and again, having a higher seed is always going to be better. If you're seed 1, you play seed 16, which is usually going to be something, someone who struggled to qualify, so usually who's not as good as MC, Stardust, and Hyun.
Of course, yeah. Definitely the case there. Look at this drone right now, actually doing a great job delaying this all. Stardust has to be a little bit annoyed at the moment.
Going for the pull first here, Hyun. Not going to be playing it greedy this time around. Not going to try for some quick rush. At least I don't think so.
I feel like it's a little bit interesting that he actually went for the pool first with such a quick drone scout, because a lot of times, as you were saying, if you do this drone scout, sometimes you want an offensive hatchery, but a lot of the time it's just to make sure you can hatch first.
Maybe he was hoping that Stardust will not scout after the Nexus, which is done a bunch, or at least not shortly after, in which case you can still get some links and do some damage.
Oh, okay. Sneak a few lings in there, delay some mine time, maybe kill a probe, maybe even 2.
But Stardust, you know, he's going to be cautious finally. That's why he's such a great player. He's
mixing risks and caution.
Yes, he's going to take some risks sometimes, and he knows what it means going to the next game and what image he's going to have. So he wants to be careful here, and he gets the Forge behind this. What?
Oh.
Did he want to cannon one of those bases?
That's quite a quick Forge. No, I don't think that's what it's for, to be honest, Todd.
Some sort of quick +1. And then
this is really kind of weird because, yeah, it's so fast that he's not even going to have 100 gas when it finishes.
I mean, he's up against the pull first, but it's no reason to panic. Like, you will always have your Zealots on time and then get additional units as well.
Yeah, he definitely should not be panicking. I don't think we're going to see a cannon. I really don't.
Yeah, that's one link.
It's a very interesting opening to get your Forge this quickly. Maybe he wants to take a super fast third, like right away, but
he saw no gas again, so it could be a good thing that he can do, but even with that, what? He gets a cannon.
I am really confused. You know, the thing is,
he
scouted. Well. He scouted. He saw that there was no gas. What are you going to... With minerals, you can't do anything
here. You know, we talked about Hyun possibly doing something crazy and trying for an all-in here or something very risky. Yeah. And I think Stardust might be thinking like us right now. He might be thinking, wow, this is 1-1. I think if we play a standard game, I'll be fine. What if he tries something special? So right now, he's just going to confirm that third base. I don't think he's going to have time to cancel the cannon. He's going to let it finish. And Stargate goes down behind this. In a nice corner, but there is an Overlord right above. Seeing Stargate as it starts, always going to be a good scenario.
Yeah, as good as you can really get. Not going to get nearly as much damage done, especially because Hyun is a double Spore Crawler guy. He's someone that really defends well against Phoenixes.
He's a double Spore Crawler kind of guy.
He is.
He's a good guy.
You watch, he
always calls back after one date.
Yeah.
I bet.
No doubt. You know, I'm still so weirded out by the cannon, I can't even really explain, but, you know...
You think this is for a fast Oracle, like kind of like trap style back at MLG?
I really do like fast Oracle in this matchup, to be honest, but will you actually get a lot of kills against Hyun? Because the Phoenixes, over time, you can definitely grind out some damage, but you send an Oracle up, I feel like you're going to hit, when you see the Stargate this early, you're going to hit like 4 kills.
Yeah.
And if they're sloppy about rallying drones, you might get more than that.
I thought he wasn't going to make any unit from the Stargate. Wouldn't that be the sickest mind game? You like 4 spores everywhere. You hallucinate Phoenixes, like 2. You send them across the map, like the opponent makes like 2 spores.
That's brilliant. You need to pioneer this strategy. Maybe you'll be in the Dreamhack top 8 next time.
I'm not sure if it's a compliment or a cheer for me or a jab.
A little bit of all of it. Well, the Oracle does come out, and it's going to help to clean up these Zerglings pretty well. Ooh.
That's scary here for a second, but these are slow links. Oh, he actually uses energy just for these links.
Yeah, you know, I actually like that move when you're going for this type of opener where you're getting sentries and a third base, because if you don't do it, it's really hard to deal with anything.
No Mothership Core was made just yet by Stardust, so I guess it makes sense to use the Oracle to make sure those links don't do any damage onto that third base.
Don't forget, his Stargate was scouted, so it's not like he's thinking, I need to get this across the map to do damage. He knows that defenses will already be waiting for him.
It is weird, though, but that Stardust doesn't even get a Void Ray behind this, like usually just for hunting Overlord down on the map, which, by the way, there are 4 of these Overlords down on the map, a little bit everywhere near Stardust's base. And look, an Overseer is being morphed right now above the natural.
You know, I would like to even see a Phoenix. I mean, anything to start pushing these out.
I don't like a Phoenix. Making a Phoenix is like making 3 carriers. You don't do that. You just get 2, remember?
Okay.
So you get a Void Ray instead. They are not only good against like Overlords that you can kill around your base, but also against Roach attacks.
Indeed it is. Well, the Phoenix will lift up a Roach.
No comments.
All right. Well, the Overseer are going to go ahead and see over basically everything here. He sees that Twilight on the way, probably going to be a +2 blink coming out. Not a big surprise, a very common follow-up to such a quick third base.
Quite a few gateways were made here by Stardust. He made 2 in his main. He made 3 at his third base, so that he's up to 6. He's a guy who loves to attack. He doesn't even need a reason. Sometimes if you make the mistake of giving a reason, you're just going to die right there and then. But in this case, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts pressuring soon with the sentries that he has. But since he made the Mothership Core as well, you know, he's going to start to charge up on energy. And if he has a recall available, he should be pretty safe. But he's going to be up against Hydralisk, so he's going to have to be careful.
Yeah, Hydraling is going to be a very nice composition here, and I really like the fact that he's taking a gold base at the moment. With that gold base up, he's going to be able to macro so quickly.
Stardust still doesn't know what he's... Okay, no, he saw the Hydras now, but he doesn't know what there is in terms of evolution chambers, if there is a RO8 or not. So right now, all he saw was 2 Hydralisks. This could mean a number of things. It would be good for him if he could actually confirm, but he's not choosing to use any hallucination right now. Stardust has been playing with minimal information in this series.
Yeah, you know, you were talking about that before, how he wasn't really truly scouting out everything Hyun was doing, just kind of playing strongly. And
boosting the gateways on the third base. I think this could be a very strong timing push.
You know what?
Having seen the golds, it will make sense.
He skipped the Robo, right? So he's just been scouting and lightly harassing with this Oracle while lining up a 3-base +2 Blink. And
remember, the Oracle's
that's very
detection.
strong. Yeah, that's true. Can allow him to get rid of some creep and whatnot, and maybe even tag the army so he can chase it down. These Hydras going across the map right now.
Hallucinations being sent across the map for Stardust. He's going to be able to see maybe something into the natural, like the RO8 and stuff, which he's going to find out about anyway. Oh, he doesn't see that those rocks are being attacked here. Okay, no, he sees it. He's gonna...
All right, sees it now. Brings up his army for the moment. Warping in some more units as well. You know what? Blink is finished. He's about to have +2. That army is way better than Hyun's army right now.
Yeah, but Hyun, I think he wants to tech. Ooh, this Oracle.
Oh, I
think he
love
wants
that
to tech
move.
into Viper. He's going to attack from 2 sides, possibly. Being revealed, though, it makes it very hard for it to work.
See, he can easily pick off some of these units as well. Has a lot of force fields, even has a time warp. He's got to be careful, though. Hydra Ling can chew right through this type of army, but with good force fields, he can rip it apart.
Actually, Stardust feeling confident enough to maybe attack into this. He needs to be careful. He needs good Blink Macro and good force fields. He's got just that, but Hyun is maxed out. I don't think Hyun minds nearly as much. Oh, the Mothership Core Force.
Very nice snipe there. We do have Charge on the way, as well as +3 attack now. Burrow and Burrow movement, as well as a Hive coming up for Hyun. And a little bit of Zealot harassment at the gold.
Yeah, they're not going to do too much. And man, I think if Hyun gets Vipers here, he's going to be in a great shape to attack and maybe win the game.
Well, right now he's actually trying to attack up this ramp. Some really good force fields going down. Guardian Shield as well. He's got a force field the other side, and he does. A beautiful engagement coming up from Stardust.
Beautiful force fields, as they say.
As you say, Caster Man. Look at this, just dividing the army and conquering it. He can even blink forward and chase us down, and that is exactly what he's going to do. Stardust just eliminating the entire army of Hyun.
Hyun has only been on one single evolution chamber the entire game, and he chose to go for missile attacks this game. So he's got the +1 against the Protoss that's on +2. Behind this, he starts his own +2 as the Protoss is getting +3. So this is good for Stardust, even though he's run out of energy and he doesn't have that many sentries, which is why he's going to pull back now and not risk it. Oh, the Hive is about to be spotted. I wonder how Stardust reacts. Do you think he gets a Templar Archive?
I think so, yeah.
He's already got charge.
He does, he does. I think a Templar Archive is smart. You have to be really careful about it.
I think he doesn't get a Templar Archive. He makes more Stalkers and he ends it.
He just goes. That's it. YOLO, let's finish this now. Well, it looks like you are right. That is what he's going for. We'll see if it ends up working. Hyun trying to stay defensive here. Needs to keep that gold base up.
Another Oracle's being made. The other one died. I think he wants to make sure he has detection against some kind of burrow play. One single Swarmo start.
You know what? He may be trying to trick him into the wrong tech switch, but look at this. Hyun actually attacking forward into this force field, as well as a pretty good concave of Stalkers. In fact, Stardust blinking forward. I think that was a little bit overload.
There's too much anyway. He's going to go for it. That single Swamos, what is it going to do, really? All the Roaches and Hydralisk are dying now.
Yeah, look at this. He is killing off just about everything. Not even really using too much Blink Micro, just using it to chase down the army of Hyun. And Stardust continues to push forward.
Man, I think it's going to happen. The Mind Sanity team kill in the semifinals. The Oracle's going to reveal that burrowed Swamos here. +3 has completed here for Stardust. Even though Hyun's ahead on supply, it's mostly in drones. The army supply, 87 to 90. Hyun's going for it. He pulls the boys.
Oh, here they come from each side with some nice blinks going on. Great force fields right there, keeping these Roaches back. Still a lot of Roaches coming in, but more Stalkers are being warped in, and that's some good Blink Micro.
Stardust coming out ahead after this fight. in supply, and Hyun is down to his last few roaches. He even brings in the queens. I don't think they're going to be enough. Those are +3 stalkers.
Indeed, they are blinking forward once again. I have never seen so many blink forwards in a game before. Stardust going to take him down 2-1. Stardust hits the round of 4 of Dreamhack Valencia.
Going for the handshake here.
That's right. Very good sportsmanship. These guys seen each other at tournaments all the time.
As we will see Saxry take on Stardust later on in the semifinals. I'm sure My Insanity is very happy about this.
That's right. For some reason, Harstam now on the stage. It is his year, I guess.
It's a ceremony.
I don't know. And Stardust gonna be going down for an interview with Smix. Smix, take it away.
Thank you very much, Artosis. Give it up for our second semifinalist. Now, Stardust, you and Hyun have played each other many, many times. Your history with each other goes way back. I'm sure there's a lot of mind games going on. When the series was 1-1 and you were headed into Game 3, what was going through your head?
I know. I just think before he tried in Overgrowth, have many gold mining, gold hatchery. So I thought if he take my gold base, I will cannon rush. Then maybe if I success at cannon rush, I will take a easy win. So, but he sent drone, just going on normal game. Then I know he will using RO8 with Burrow and what's his name. So I just prepare for many stalker because even Hydra risk, if I have many stalker, I can beat. So that's my strategy.
All right. Stardust, last year when you were at Valencia, you came to the round of 4, but unfortunately your road stopped there. You're now in the round of 4 again, and I'm sure the fans here want to know, will this time be different?
What?
This is your second time in the semifinals at Valencia. Tell the fans, will this time be different?
Okay. Last Valencia was, I'm not be confident, but now you guys know I'm dominating every tournament. I try, so my semi-final opponent is my teammate Saxry, but doesn't matter. It's just game, so I just try my best, and then I think I will win.
All right, thank you very much, Stardust. Guys, when we come back from this quick commercial break, we'll have our next quarterfinal match between Golden and Lenok, so stay tuned.